go in it full-heartedly. Like, I was very nervous at first, but I was excited because when I saw, especially for the podcasting class, when I saw that this was something available, I was like, yes, I want to take this. And it turned out to be everything that I wanted to be. I was like, I hope I get to do podcasts on this and create a podcast is going to help me. And it did, because I really wanted to get into video podcasting. And this is where I was able to do that. Don't be nervous. I know it can seem like a lot at first, but don't get stressed by it. Just pick something that you love and that you're passionate about and what you want to be known for and what you want to be remembered by. And like for me, I want people to know that I'm relatable, that you can talk to me. I'm every other person. We can sit down and just shoot it together and just, hang out and make that relatable time. And I wanted to emboss that within my personal brand and my podcast. And I want to be remembered by that. It's like, oh yeah, she's awesome. She may not know everything, but she's there and she knows just enough that helps me feel more comfortable wanting to be around and watch more.
Kimberlee Whitt, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. My name is Kimberlee, and I am a senior at UTSA, graduating this December, actually, for 2025. I'm getting my degree in communications with a concentration in digital media. I'm wanting to transfer into sports broadcasting, which I actually just started a new podcast that is tailored specifically for newer and casual sports fans that are wanting to learn as they go, that don't know everything but want to know more, and us learn together. So it's really neat, and hoping that that'll really kind of help me get into the broadcasting field, because that's really what I want to get into. So I've done a few different types of podcasts, but now really getting into video and getting a better presence on camera to transition into that career field. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. And make that pitch to that future employer who's going to hire you as a media professional working in the sports media industry. What would you tell them to help set yourself apart?
I would tell them that there's I love storytelling, and that also, like, what is my unique and authentic voice? Because I feel everyone is authentic in their own way. But when you see a lot of sports media, especially like ESPN and things like that, it's a lot of professionals and stuff. I mean, even on regular news outlets, the sports broadcasters, like, they know a lot of knowledge, and it is a lot of work, and you have to know all the things. And I don't, because I'm human and I have life and things happen. So I don't get to always sit down every Saturday or Sunday and watch games when it comes to like football or even baseball and other sports. So I really want it to be, it's like, I know things and I know more than I think I do, but I'm not up to date with all the stuff all the time. And I think that's important for a lot of people to have and understand, because for me, it's like, I get nervous. It's like, can I really do this? Because I don't know all the things. And I think that's the unique thing about it, is that I don't, but I know enough. And I think that can really feed into my audience and to people out there who feel the same way. Like, look, here's this person. They're not an expert, but they're helping relate it to what is going on and what isn't, and kind of break that down a little bit. So that's what I think I would be able to give, is my uniqueness on it, knowing stuff, but not all of it, and wanting to continue to learn as I grow, especially in different sports as well.
And you have primary sports that you absolutely love. You can do any sport. Let's be clear. You are multicultural in the sports world, but what are your favorites?
So my favorite sports is for sure football, baseball, and I really am an avid fan of trap and skeet, which is not a wide range really talked about. It's really neat, and a lot of people don't think about it because it is like firearms and shotguns and things like that, but it's really cool. So I like that. I am a huge Olympic person. I love to watch the gymnastics every 4 years in the summer, and then getting ready to watch the Winter Olympics coming up for like snowboarding and figure skating and things like that.
I love the Olympics too. It's always fun. You didn't say my sport though, basketball. Aren't you a little bit into basketball? Just a little bit, I hope.
Yeah, so especially from San Antonio, which is where I'm originally from, I attended UTSA back in the day in person, and then I took some time off and decided I was going to go back and finish my degree. But when I was there, yes, huge Spurs fan, grew up with David Robinson and Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, like all those guys, the OGs and stuff.
The legends.
Yeah, they paved the way. And so, but today though, if you would ask me about who is doing what, I wouldn't know too much, besides like the people who are still playing that are probably going to retire soon.
Of a certain time, right? So you just successfully completed our AI and personal branding course. Let's walk through that. So it starts with audience research, as most communications courses do. Tell us about your struggles and your triumphs in audience research and your struggles in creating that first step into your personal brand.
For me, it was a little difficult at first because I wanted my personal brand to kind of feed off my podcast in a way, but not fully, because it is the same audience in a way, but also different. Because this is my personal brand that's going to help me get into my career field, not just my podcasting audience specifically tailored for that. So I kind of had to figure out like, okay, like what is the difference here? Like, yes, I can use my podcast that I did for Fandom Progress to help with my personal brand because it all aligns and tailors together. But this is specifically for my personal brand and what I'm wanting to get into. So I had to think about that. And I kind of ended up narrowing it down as like, okay, well, this is kind of going to be me like pitching myself to my future employers. Like, what do I have? What's my audience look like? So I was thinking more along the lines of news stations or these industries that I really wanted to get into, and how would I tailor that for them, especially in the sports world.
And that kind of mental exercise with the Ikigai, how did that help you?
Yeah, so the Ikigai map really helped me a lot, kind of narrow down like what I want my authentic voice. Storytelling is really big. I want to be very relatable to people versus just always feeling like the on camera, like news voice. Like I feel like personality is really big. So storytelling, being relatable and personality is a really big thing for me. And so I wanted to put that out there. And the Ikigai map helped me kind of like narrow down those specific things of what I needed to align with my personal brand and my audience that I was trying to tailor and get navigate to.
So you have an amazing Ikigai. You got all narrow, your niche down as nicely as possible. Now it's time for audience research. Tell us about those struggles and triumphs.
Yes. So I had to come up, I did a survey and I tried to figure out like what are potential employers kind of really looking for. So I tried to ask questions like when do you watch, cuz like at the same time this also tailored into my podcast as well that I could utilize for my personal brand. So I figured like where do people stream the most? Where do people watch stuff the most? Where do they do sports? Like what are they interested in and what are they looking for? Are they looking for more storytelling, more interview, more, relatable? Like what were they really into and when do they watch? Morning, evening, night, things like that. So it was really trying to like narrow it down for the specific audience and what would work best for my personal brand.
Whenever you were doing your interviews, did you have any struggles on exactly how to do the process? Because I mean, that's part of your profession is interviewing, but audience
Yes.
interviewing is different.
Yes, for sure. Because I did come into a lot of individuals who weren't huge on sports. So, like, kind of asking, especially wanting to ask a lot of those sports questions tailored to my personal brand was a little difficult. So, I was having to find a good balance of questions that would work for that, but also that kind of kept them engaged. And then if they said something that I could feed off of that into a different type of question or something like that, that would keep it going. So some worked out really well, some didn't. Some you could kind of catch what they're saying because listening is really, really important. And then you can add a relatable comment or moment to that can dive into a natural driven conversation or question within the interview. So that really helps. So I had to kind of do a couple different lists of like, okay, if we're not really into sports, if we are, and then where's a good happy medium among that.
So after you've done your audience research, now it's time to actually create the blog and the website and all the assets for the website. What was your approach for the blog topic and the website?
Yes. So for my blog and the website, I used AI to help me because like I had a whole brainstorm. So I used Chat GPT. I even used Claude to kind of help me get more better verbiage sometimes because sometimes with Chat GPT, we communicate so much that it kind of gets my more natural tone versus something that needs to be a little more professionalized. But I had this brainstorm. I'm like, okay, I've been working with football because it's football season. With everything I've done, let's do a blog on that and what can tailor to me and my personal brand that I can bring to a potential employer on what I do, what I know, and who I am, and how that can work. So, and the relatableness to that with life and everything. I used AI and it really helped me narrow down and navigate what I was specifically looking for, which helped a lot. Because even when you have ideas and you're jotting it down on paper, sometimes it doesn't always come out right, kind of like, I guess, a writer's block in a way. And so AI really helped me kind of put all those ideas, like, this is what I want here, and this is what I'm thinking here, and this is here. And then it's like, okay, great. And it helped me come up with, this is what it could potentially be. And then from there, I would read through it and I would, okay, I don't like that. I like this. Let's add this. Let's remove that. And then come up with a full final blog that is great to put on a website. And then it's also was a thought of like keeping that going. Do I want to keep a blog going? Do I want to add more or just the one? But and make sure it's still that specific niche that like especially within sports. So my thought is like I would like to do one for every season because sometimes you get in seasons where there's multiple sports going on, but when you're doing kind of too much at once and you're trying to have a personal brand on what you're for, it's like, okay, we know during football season Kimberlee's going to be talking about football, and then once that's over she's probably going to run into like baseball or even basketball or something like that, or the Olympics are coming up in February, so maybe she'll jump into it. So something that's going to keep it consistent of knowing that it's not going to be too much all at once.
And that consistency really is important. Let's move on to the podcast. You already had some experience with the podcasting course. You already had an idea of what a trailer should look like, but we did have that new podcasting assignment of the story brand with Donald Miller. Tell us about your experiences there.
Yeah, so with podcasting, it was really interesting because like you said, like I already had some experience with it, so I knew what to do for the trailer there and kind of put that together. When I was looking at the videos in class, not only just the Don Miller one, but even the Chris Do one, I remember specifically like 2 words that, and even you and I discussed this, it was like 2 words that are going to really like describe that's going to be your thing. And so I think that really helped me specifically in doing my personal brand trailer that tailors in with my podcast, but kind of is like what's going to brand me and like know that this is what I'm for, this is what I am, and that it's going to be that tag for me, that it's going to be attached to me. So those videos really helped me come up with my personal brand trailer to put out there along with my podcast, so it kind of all tied together.
What was your 2-word brand in the Chris Do style?
So my 2 words that I used, or even more like just a phrase that I use, is making fans not experts, because I am a fan in progress. I'm not an expert. And I think that's really what it's all about with the personal brand. I think it really like encompasses what that's all about, especially not only just my personal brand, but my podcast as well. I'm making fans that people who want to know more about sports, who love sports, don't know everything about them. I'm not an expert. Not everyone is, and it's okay. So it's okay to not know everything. And so that was like 2 things that I really figured would be great to tailor to my personal brand.
Were there any other aha moments like that through the course?
Yes, my media kit, it was really neat. Who am I? What am I for? What am I doing? What do I want to do? And how is that different? So when I was creating my website, yes, I had my about me page, but then when I went into like my how I define sports or like how I got interested in sports, like I had to make sure they weren't like too repetitive. And so I kind of had those little aha moments of like, okay, let's keep this tailored to specifically this, and then this tailored to this. And then especially with my media kit, I had some pretty good aha moments because I would doing the podcast, you see yourself and you're just like, oh gosh, like I can get embarrassed or nervous and think I look ridiculous. But I took a couple of clips and made shorts of them and put them on YouTube, and like seeing the traction. One of my favorite ones that I did on YouTube, that it was one of the episodes that I thought was just a really great aha moment, was when I referenced an older retired football people and compared them to newer football people and how they kind of intertwined. And it really got a lot of hits and a lot of views on it because it was mid-football season, so perfect for that. And then also mentioned people who are very famous that are on like Peyton Manning and stuff like that, and kind of tailored them to how they can relate to Travis Kelce and them today. So it was really neat. And so I just kind of had those aha moments about like what works and what doesn't, and just put it out there and just do it. I mean, and you never know. And people I think really enjoyed it because they're like, oh yes, I remember them because that's my age, or oh, I don't really know them, or but I know his nephew because he plays college for UT and things like that. So all the references really worked, and it's just doing that research and stuff, because I even have those aha moments too. I'm like, well, if you think about it, like, yeah, they're that age now, they're in college, so it makes sense.
It does, yes. So your LinkedIn, did you have any other challenges there?
LinkedIn, I've never really used it. I didn't do it. I have it. Like, I never really messed with it. I kind of would look at jobs here and there. But with this class, we really got into it. And I really enjoyed that because I actually made it to where when you go to it, you're just like, wow, look at this. I made a whole banner for the back and put like a picture in there, not only with my profile picture, and then really tailored to it to saying, making fans not experts, and then my headlines, and then posting. Like, so I really was able to leverage AI to help me better my LinkedIn versus like, here's my basic LinkedIn. Cause it's like, what is your LinkedIn page going to show? When for me, especially, like I'm doing a whole career shift. So if someone goes to my LinkedIn page and they just see, okay, this girl wants to get into sports broadcasting or broadcasting in general, and here's just this plain page. Okay, she says she's a digital media person, but here's a profile picture and there's nothing else. Like, okay, well, what? So with this class, it really helped me to where I actually got a response recently from someone going, I love your LinkedIn page. The fact that you communicate storytelling is amazing. And it's all because of this class and AI that helped me leverage my LinkedIn to get to where it needs to be today and really stand out when someone goes and clicks on that page. And I've noticed that from the analytics on that I actually have, since I've updated it, gotten way more views and like or searches or popped up on employers' pages because of it. So it's been really awesome.
Excellent. Oh, it's so great to hear that things are working out. The idea of unsolicited emails or messages saying, "Hey, this looks great. Can I work with you?" That's the goal. That's what we want with our creations every time.
Yeah, because I am getting ready to graduate, so I'm doing an interview with UTSA as being an online graduate, and I'm actually going to commencement. So when I told her I was available, she reached out to me, and then I guess she found me on LinkedIn, and she instantly messaged me. And she was like, "I love your LinkedIn page. Like, this is amazing. I can't wait to meet you." And I'm like, "Thank you so much. Awesome. I can't wait either. I hope I don't disappoint."
Is this Carrie?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
Yeah. I did an interview with Carrie on this channel. You can go and find and look it up if you'd like. She is amazing. And her public relations skills and her interviewing skills are top notch. So whenever you talk to her, pay attention to what she's doing because she is very good at what she does.
No, I will. She emailed me and because I had applied to they had asked graduates if they'd be open to doing interviews. I was like, sure, why not? I'll apply. Like, if they want to meet with me, great. So she mentioned that. And then when she found me on LinkedIn, she's like, would you be open to doing a virtual meeting beforehand? And then when you're in town, we'll meet up on campus. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we're actually going to meet up on Monday and do our virtual, which will be really interesting too. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Excellent. As a media person, you can practice your media skills and pay attention to what she's doing in her media skill set. Yeah, I really enjoyed that interview because she was talking about the kinds of questions she's asking graduates, and they were spot on. Like, what's your legacy? Why are you here? Why are you pursuing this degree? Kind of questions, which are, hey, why are you pursuing this degree, Kimberly?
Yes, so it actually kind of was an aha moment. So I've always wanted to get into media in some way and broadcasting in some way, even when I was still living in San Antonio and at UTSA. I was a psychology major at one point, and then I decided I wanted to maybe do multidisciplinary studies. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then I was like, I want to get into broadcasting. I see it. It always has intrigued me. I was like, this is what I want to do, and I was a part of the SSA at UTSA, and they had at the time two women from I think it was Fox 29's Daytime at 9 or something like that. And I think Kimberlee Crawford is actually still doing it. But so it was her and, well, it wasn't her, it was her other co-host and one of the production girls. They came to a meeting one night and said, like, you're doing this. If you want to come meet up with us, we'll get you on set to see what it's all about. And I was like, I instantly emailed because I was like, this is what I want to do. So I like switched my major. I emailed the girl. She said, yeah, come in. I went one morning and got to see how the whole production set looked like, what behind the scenes in the TV area, the production area, and then also on set as well and what they all did. And it like sold me. I was like, this is what I meant to do. So I had switched majors and I was like, I'm going to do broadcasting. And I started doing all my communication classes and stuff. And then life happened. And so I had to take some time off. And I'm in my 30s now and I'm in Maryland. But I was sitting one day and I was like, just watching TV, and I was visiting my dad, and it was during the finals, the World Series baseball finals for college. And I was like, I was really into it. I was really honed. And I've always been sports. I always loved football and stuff. But I was watching the LSU was in the World Series and they won. And so I was like in it every day. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And I was talking to my stepmom, and I was like, I want to get into sports broadcast. And she goes, do it. And I was like, okay. I was like, this is what I want to do. And I went ahead and went online to look at online programs, and I saw that UTSA offered one, and I was like, what better way to complete my degree than this college I was already attending? And so I reached out and they said, absolutely. And it's just been phenomenal ever since. And I'm like, this is just really what I want to do. And the more I've dived into it, even with digital media classes and production classes and the podcasting and the AI personal branding, it just has fueled me more to want to get into it. Because it is, I want to leave a statement. Like, I want to get into this. I love sports. I want to know more about them. I want other people to feel comfortable doing it as well. My making fans not experts is really who I am. We can enjoy it and we can laugh, and you're probably going to miss something, but then there's someone else there who is really into it, and they're going to tell you everything about it. And for no one to like feel ashamed for not being an expert. So that's what it's all about. It's about being a fan and not an expert and enjoying the game.
Awesome. And we love hearing your passion too. That passion is infectious. Yes. So you said personal branding. So back to that social media content schedule and lead magnet. Tell us about how you might have struggled with.
Yes. So with my social media schedule, I had to really think about what's realistic. I do work full time, and with wanting to post online, you have to always think trends are constantly changing and you have to stay up to date, and it's hard. So like, yes, consistency is key. So when I was thinking of like my lead magnet and my social media content, it was, okay, when am I going to do this? What's it going to be about? How am I going to, and also like the time frame or like the time of day, like, am I do it daily? Is that too much? Maybe every couple days or something like that. So I started out with, for sure, like a 3-week, like weekly thing that we had discussed, and did like every day, like something that's just small, like whether it's just a post, and then maybe on another day do an actual video, but something that is just consistent and keeping it there. And then even if it's like on a weekend where it's main game, primetime game day for sports or for events, is when you can post about that. So I did one recently. The Washington College Trap and Skeet was doing their regional championships to get ready for nationals in San Antonio in March. And so I went out there and I just did a little story. Here I am, here, that I posted on my Fan in Progress Instagram page. So when I was doing the social media and the lead magnet, I had to really kind of tailor it to see like, how am I going to do this content and how am I going to keep up with it with working full time as well. It was a lot, and AI really helped me kind of narrow down something that's not too much, because when I start thinking, I can overthink, and then I'm like, oh, this is going to be too much for one thing. And it's like, no, just a quick 30-second thing. This week you can do on this day, this one you can do on that day, and it doesn't take that long. So I had some struggles there at first. I was thinking, oh my gosh, every day. And then I realized like, okay, here's what a good plan would look like.
Excellent. And the last piece was the media kit. Tell us about your struggles with the media kit.
So for me with my media kit, because I have the podcast, I did create a social media for it. I have it on YouTube. I have the LinkedIn. So I wanted to include all of it, but my struggles is picking what's most important. So for me, it was like, what's going to be the most relevant information? Because I'm like, I don't want to leave anything out. At first I was like, okay, let me do the past, 30 days, the past 90 days, the past year. And I had to think about it is that because my LinkedIn is so new, that it probably had limited information. So I did majority of my media kit on my YouTube because it has been up longer, especially with the podcast and posting on there and stuff. I use that as like my main and for my analytics for my media kit, and kind of did the most important information that I could grab. So I did all time, but then I narrowed 2 little spots down for, okay, 30 days, 90 days. And then I just did 2 small sections for my LinkedIn and Instagram page, to kind of just show those, but nothing that was too much, because I didn't want to get lost, and it's hard. So that was really hard for me, was kind of like determining what's most important, what's going to be most relevant, and what are my employers or potential employers going to, be really looking at when they go to this website? What are they going to be looking for? Especially with it being so new. So I wanted to keep the most relevant numbers available and at the top.
The idea of keeping your audience in mind is in almost every communication course. And you just demonstrated that with your consideration of audience with deciding what's important and where to spend the time to build assets. What assets or things do you want to build in the future that you haven't done quite yet?
I really want to revamp my website now that I have it. As initially at first, I had to just plain Jane. And then when we really got more into it, I was like, oh, I can do all these things. And then I've revamped the whole thing and now I want to revamp it again. But something that I haven't done that I really want to do is I really want to reach out and see if I can get in like a game or an event somewhere and get in the production room. It's been a long time. Like I've never done that sports wise, and I would love the opportunity to do that, especially with wanting to get into that world and like make those networking and connections. And so it's just taking that step of reaching out and seeing if they would be willing to do it, whether it's a college campus or a national team. And just kind of seeing how that goes and if that can help me kind of start getting my foot in the door. Because that's the one thing I think I've kind of run into is, yes, I'm graduating, but I don't have a lot of experience professionally. I have my experience that I've done through podcasting and my courses, which doesn't diminish anything at all.
They're practical. They are like internship-like experiences, just like with an employer.
They are, absolutely. And so I would love to make those reach out connections and see if they would be willing to bring me on in and show me the ropes and see what I can do. And if they have any information for me, or advice moving forward.
What do you want people to remember who are about to take the AI and personal branding, or about to do their own kind of personal branding endeavor or their own podcasting? What are the things you want them to know before they embark on that journey?
I want them to know to just go in it full-heartedly. Like, I was very nervous at first, but I was excited because when I saw, especially for the podcasting class, when I saw that this was something available, I was like, yes, I want to take this. And it turned out to be everything that I wanted to be. I was like, I hope I get to do podcasts on this, and create a podcast is going to help me. And it did, because I really wanted to get into video podcasting. And this is where I was able to do that. You don't have to have the most professional things. You can get mics for fairly cheap on Amazon, but don't be nervous. I know it can seem like a lot at first, but don't get stressed by it. Just pick something that you love and that you're passionate about and what you want to be known for and what you want to be remembered by. And like for me, I want people to know that I'm relatable, that you can talk to me. I'm every other person. We can sit down and just shoot it together and just, hang out and make that relatable time. And I wanted to emboss that within my personal brand and my podcast. And I want to be remembered by that. It's like, oh yeah, she's awesome. She may not know everything, but she's there and she knows just enough that helps me feel more comfortable wanting to be around and watch more.
Kimberlee Whitt, where can we find you online and in LinkedIn? And could you spell your name so we can find your LinkedIn profile?
Yes. So my LinkedIn is my name. It's Kimberlee Whitt, which is KIMBERLEE. Last name Whitt, WHITT. You can also find me on YouTube at Fan in Progress, and also on Instagram as well. You can find me at Fan in Progress there also.
Wonderful. Thank you for taking the time to share insights with future students and people who are looking to get into podcasting or personal branding. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.